High IQ people, reality versus myth. Many people believe that high IQ comes only from genetics or good schooling. They think intelligence depends on family background, money, or expensive education. But in real life, this idea is not fully correct. Intelligence is more about thinking ability than external factors. A person becomes intelligent by how they observe, analyze, and solve problems, not just by where they study or how rich their background is. Take the example of Albert Einstein. In his early life, he was not considered a top student. Some teachers even doubted his abilities. However, later he changed the world with his ideas and discoveries. This clearly shows that intelligence is not fixed by school performance or early judgment. It develops over time through thinking habits and curiosity. High IQ people think differently from others. They focus more on understanding rather than memorizing information. They ask questions, observe deeply, and try to find unique solutions. Their daily habits shape their intelligence. In this guide, you will learn the real habits of high IQ people. Each point will help you understand how they think and how you can improve your thinking step by step. 1. High IQ people talk to themselves. High IQ people often talk to themselves, and this is not a weakness. It is a sign of deep thinking. When a person speaks to himself, he is organizing his thoughts and making his mind clearer. Instead of keeping everything mixed inside the mind, self-talk helps to bring structure and clarity. This habit improves decision-making. A person can ask himself simple questions like, "What is the problem?" and "What is the best solution?" These questions guide the mind step by step. It becomes easier to understand situations and take the right action without confusion. There are two types of people. Person 1 feels confused and waits for others to guide him. He depends on outside help for every decision. Person 2 talks to himself, understands the situation, and finds his own solutions. He becomes independent in thinking and stronger in decision-making. Self-talk also reduces stress. When thoughts stay inside the mind, they create pressure. But when a person expresses them, even by speaking to himself, the mind becomes calm and relaxed. This habit improves focus and helps a person think more clearly in difficult situations. If you want to develop this habit, start by thinking aloud when solving problems. Ask yourself questions and try to answer them honestly. Slowly, your thinking will become sharper and more organized. 2. High IQ people have a good sense of humor. High IQ people often have a strong sense of humor, but their humor is different from ordinary jokes. It is not only for making others laugh. It comes from deep thinking, quick understanding, and the ability to connect ideas in a smart way. Their humor reflects how they see the world differently. They can notice hidden meanings, contradictions, and small details that others may ignore, and they turn these observations into humor. This type of humor shows mental flexibility. A high IQ person can look at one situation from many angles. For example, in a difficult situation, instead of reacting with stress or fear, they may find something meaningful or even slightly funny. This does not mean they are ignoring the problem. It means they are controlling their emotions and using humor as a tool to stay calm and balanced. There are two types of people. Person 1 becomes serious in every situation. Even small problems make him stressed and anxious. His mind becomes heavy, and he loses clarity. Person 2, on the other hand, uses humor to reduce pressure. He understands the situation but does not let stress control him. Because of this, his thinking remains clear, and he can make better decisions. A good sense of humor also improves communication. People feel comfortable around someone who can make them smile. It builds strong relationships and trust. High IQ people often use humor to explain complex ideas in a simple way. This makes their communication more effective and engaging. Instead of using difficult words, they use simple and smart expressions that others can easily understand. Another important benefit of humor is emotional strength. Life always has challenges, and not every situation can be controlled. But the way a person reacts can be controlled. High IQ people use humor as a coping mechanism. It helps them handle failure, criticism, and pressure without losing confidence. They do not take everything too personally, which protects their mental peace. If you want to develop this habit, start by observing situations carefully. Try to see different sides of the same situation. Do not react immediately with stress. Give yourself a moment to think and find a lighter perspective. Also, spend time with people who have positive and intelligent humor, because environment affects thinking. In the end, a good sense of humor is not just about laughing. It is a sign of a strong and flexible mind. It shows that a person can think clearly even in difficult situations. Developing this habit will not only improve your intelligence but also make your life more balanced and peaceful. 3. High IQ people enjoy solitude. High IQ people enjoy spending time alone, but this should not be confused with loneliness. Loneliness is a negative feeling where a person feels empty or disconnected. Solitude, on the other hand, is a positive choice. It is the time a person spends with himself to think, reflect, and grow. High IQ people use solitude as a tool to improve their thinking and understand life more deeply. When a person is alone, the mind becomes quieter. There are fewer distractions like noise, social media, or unnecessary conversations. This silence allows the brain to process thoughts clearly. It becomes easier to analyze problems, plan actions, and generate new ideas. Many great thinkers and creators have used solitude to develop their best ideas because deep thinking needs a calm environment. There are two types of people. Person 1 always stays surrounded by noise and people. He keeps himself busy with phones, entertainment, and constant interaction. Because of this, his mind never gets time to rest or think deeply. His thoughts remain shallow, and he depends on external stimulation for happiness. Person 2, however, spends some time alone every day. He reflects on his actions, thinks about his goals, and understands his mistakes. This makes his thinking stronger and more independent. Solitude also improves self-awareness. When a person sits quietly, he starts to understand his own thoughts, emotions, and behavior. He becomes aware of his strengths and weaknesses. This awareness is very important for personal growth because without understanding yourself, improvement is not possible. High IQ people use this time to ask themselves important questions and find honest answers. Another benefit of solitude is creativity. When the mind is free from distractions, it starts making new connections between ideas. This leads to creative thinking and innovation. Many solutions to complex problems come when a person is alone and fully focused. This is why solitude is often called the space where ideas are born. To develop this habit, Start by giving yourself a small amount of quiet time every day. It can be 15 to 30 minutes. Sit without distractions, avoid using your phone, and simply think. You can reflect on your day, your goals, or any problem you are facing. Over time, this practice will make your mind calmer and sharper. In the end, enjoying solitude is a powerful habit. It helps you think deeply, understand yourself, and become more creative. High IQ people do not fear being alone. They use it as an opportunity to grow mentally and emotionally. 4. High IQ people have an open mind. High IQ people have an open mind. This means they are always ready to learn new things and accept different ideas. They do not believe that they know everything. Instead, they understand that knowledge is unlimited, and there is always something new to learn. This mindset helps them grow continuously. An open mind allows a person to see the world from different perspectives. High IQ people listen carefully to others, even if they do not agree. They try to understand the logic behind different opinions instead of rejecting them immediately. This habit improves their thinking because they collect ideas from many sources and then analyze them. There are two types of people. Person 1 believes that his thinking is always right. He does not listen to others and quickly rejects new ideas. Because of this, his growth becomes slow, and his understanding remains limited. Person 2, on the other hand, listens carefully and stays curious. He asks questions and tries to understand different viewpoints. This makes his thinking broader and more powerful. Being open-minded also helps in problem solving. When a person is stuck in one way of thinking, it becomes difficult to find solutions. But an open-minded person can look at the same problem in different ways. This increases the chances of finding better and more creative solutions. Another important benefit of an open mind is adaptability. Life keeps changing, and new situations come again and again. High IQ people can adjust easily because they are not fixed in one way of thinking. They are flexible and ready to accept change. This makes them more successful in both personal and professional life. However, having an open mind does not mean accepting everything without thinking. High IQ people also use logic and reasoning. They listen to ideas, analyze them, and then decide what is right. They balance openness with critical thinking. This combination makes their decisions strong and practical. To develop this habit, start by listening more and judging less. When you hear a new idea, do not reject it immediately. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Try to understand before forming an opinion. Also, expose yourself to different types of knowledge, people, and experiences. In the end, an open mind is a key habit of intelligent people. It helps in learning, thinking, and adapting to life. When you become open-minded, your knowledge increases, your thinking improves, and your ability to handle situations becomes stronger. 5. High IQ people have high observation skills. High IQ people have strong observation skills. They do not just look at things, they truly notice and understand them. Observation means paying attention to small details, patterns, and changes in the environment. This ability helps them understand situations more deeply than others. Many people see things but do not think about them. Their mind is often distracted, so they miss important details. High IQ people, however, stay present and aware. They notice body language, tone of voice, behavior patterns, and even small changes in situations. These details help them make better decisions. There are two types of people. Person 1 looks at everything but does not focus. He misses important details and later feels confused about situations. Person 2 carefully observes and thinks about what he sees. Because of this, he understands situations clearly and acts wisely. Observation also improves problem-solving ability. When a person can notice patterns and details, it becomes easier to identify the root of a problem. High IQ people use observation to connect different pieces of information and find solutions faster. Another benefit of strong observation is awareness. It helps a person stay alert and understand what is happening around him. This is useful in daily life, whether in studies, work, or relationships. A person who observes well can understand others better and avoid many mistakes. To develop this habit, start by slowing down your thinking. Pay attention to your surroundings. Notice small things like expressions, reactions, and changes in behavior. Practice focusing on one thing at a time instead of multitasking. Over time, your observation skills will improve. In the end, observation is a powerful skill that sharpens the mind. High IQ people use it to understand the world more clearly. By improving your observation, you can make better decisions, avoid confusion, and increase your intelligence step by step. 6. High IQ people solve problems repeatedly. High IQ people do not stop after one failure. They understand that solving problems takes time, effort, and repeated attempts. Instead of feeling discouraged, they see failure as a part of the learning process. Each attempt gives them new information, which helps them move closer to the correct solution. When they face a problem, they do not expect instant success. They try different methods, analyze what went wrong, and improve their approach. This repeated effort strengthens their thinking ability. Over time, their mind becomes more skilled at handling complex situations. There are two types of people. Person 1 tries once and gives up when he fails. He feels that the problem is too difficult and loses confidence. Because of this, he does not learn much and stays at the same level. Person 2, on the other hand, keeps trying again and again. Even if he fails multiple times, he learns from each mistake and improves. Finally, he finds the solution and becomes more confident. This habit builds patience and mental strength. High IQ people do not rush for quick results. They focus on understanding the problem deeply. They break it into smaller parts and solve it step by step. This process makes their thinking more clear and structured. Repeated problem solving also increases experience. When a person faces different types of problems again and again, he starts recognizing patterns. This makes future problems easier to solve. High IQ people use their past experiences to handle new challenges more effectively. To develop this habit, start by changing your mindset about failure. Do not see it as a negative thing. Instead, treat it as feedback. When something does not work, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Try again with a better approach. Stay consistent and do not give up quickly. In the end, solving problems repeatedly is a key habit of intelligent people. It builds confidence, improves thinking, and increases success. When you practice this habit daily, your mind becomes stronger, and you become better at handling any challenge in life. 7. High IQ people think more and consume less information. High IQ people focus more on thinking than on consuming too much information. They understand that knowledge does not come from collecting large amounts of content, but from understanding it deeply. Instead of watching many videos or reading too much without focus, they take limited information and spend time thinking about it. In today's world, many people are always consuming content, social media, videos, articles, but they rarely stop to think. This creates confusion because the mind becomes overloaded. Information enters, but understanding does not develop. High IQ people avoid this habit. They prefer clarity over quantity. There are two types of people. Person 1 consumes a lot of information every day but does not reflect on it. He quickly forgets most of what he learns and feels mentally tired. Person 2 takes less information but thinks deeply about it. He tries to understand the meaning, connect it with real life, and apply it. Because of this, his knowledge becomes strong and useful. Deep thinking improves memory and decision-making. When a person thinks about what he learns, the information stays longer in the mind. It also becomes easier to use that knowledge in real situations. High IQ people ask questions like, "Why is this true?" and "How can I use this?" This process builds real intelligence. Another advantage of thinking more is mental clarity. When the mind is not overloaded, it becomes calm and focused. A clear mind can solve problems faster and make better decisions. High IQ people protect their mental space by avoiding unnecessary information. To develop this habit, reduce the amount of content you consume daily. Focus on quality, not quantity. After learning something, take time to think about it. Write your thoughts, ask questions, and try to apply the idea in real life. In the end, thinking deeply is more powerful than consuming endlessly. High IQ people grow their intelligence by focusing on understanding, not just collecting information. When you start thinking more and consuming less, your mind becomes sharper, clearer, and more effective. Final guidance. High IQ is not only about genetics or schooling. It is mainly about thinking habits and daily behavior. A person is not born intelligent in every case. Intelligence grows with practice, awareness, and discipline. The way you think, observe, and solve problems decides how strong your mind becomes. All the habits you learned, self-talk, sense of humor, enjoying solitude, open-mindedness, observation, repeated problem-solving, and deep thinking are practical skills. These are not special talents that only a few people have. Anyone can develop them with consistent effort. The key point is regular practice in daily life. There are two types of people. Person 1 reads and understands these habits but does not apply them. His knowledge stays limited to words, and no real change happens in his thinking. Person 2 applies these habits slowly, one by one. He practices thinking deeply, observes more, and improves daily. Over time, his intelligence grows naturally. You do not need to change everything at once. Start with one habit. Practice it daily until it becomes natural. Then move to the next habit. This step-by-step approach makes learning easier and more effective. Small improvements done consistently create big results in the long term. Also, be patient with yourself. Intelligence does not improve in one day. It is a gradual process. Sometimes you may feel slow or confused, but that is part of learning. Keep practicing and trust the process. In the end, High IQ is not a fixed quality. It is a result of how you use your mind. If you train your thinking with the right habits, your intelligence will improve automatically. Focus on clarity, consistency, and deep thinking. This is the real path to becoming smarter in life.